When we picture elite sports training, we usually imagine like something out of a classic movie montage.
Oh, totally. The Rocky training sequence.
Right. You have the coach standing on the sidelines in the freezing rain, a stopwatch in one hand, a clipboard in the other.
Just kind of yelling.
Exactly. Relying entirely on their gut feeling and, decades of hard-won experience to know when an athlete is truly ready to peak.
The traditional eye test, it has a certain romance to it. And to be fair, for a very long time, observing an athlete's visible fatigue or measuring their raw split times.
That was the ceiling.
Yeah, that was the absolute limit of what we could do to build a champion.
But step in the high-performance training facilities of today, and you'll find that the rain-soaked stopwatch is just, it's gone.
Replaced by servers.
Yeah, replaced by something entirely invisible.
Yeah.
We are looking at a landscape where the fundamental limits of the human body are being decoded by algorithms.
It's wild.
It really is.
Yeah.
AI isn't just an experimental tech novelty anymore. It's a $2.5 billion essential coaching and performance intelligence industry.
It's massive. And our goal today isn't just to look at the tech itself, but to understand why this matters for the future of human capability.
Right. And to understand how this technology is actively predicting human performance, we are unpacking a really cool stack of sources today.
A very dense stack.
True. We've got academic scoping reviews on sports biomechanics, industry insights from WSC Sports, Apple WWDC developer guides on core haptics.
That one is fascinating.
And a highly specific strategic implementation framework from Dr. Peter Maharaj regarding the U.S. cycling program and momentum coaching.
Which really ties it all together.
It does. The mission here is to give you, the listener, a shortcut to being completely well-informed on a shift that is basically transforming human capability. Okay, let's unpack this.
We have to start with the macro picture to understand why massive sports organizations are suddenly obsessing over algorithms before we even look at how this tech touches the human body.
Right, because elite sports are fundamentally a game of marginal gains.
Exactly. When you have a field of athletes who are all genetically gifted and incredibly hardworking, a fraction of a percent is the difference between a gold medal and, going home empty-handed.
Nobody remembers fourth place.
Sadly true. And for decades, sports medicine and coaching have been purely reactive disciplines. You fix what is visibly broken.
You tear a muscle, they do surgery.
Right. What artificial intelligence introduces is the ability to be predictive.
And the numbers backing up this predictive shift in our sources are staggering. We're not talking about minor tweaks to a training regimen.
Not at all.
The big data analytics frameworks we reviewed show that predictive AI models have resulted in a 12% reduction in hamstring injury rates in professional football.
Which is huge for a team's budget.
Massive.
Yeah.
And in basketball, teams using predictive modeling are seeing a 16% improvement in clutch decision-making accuracy.
And then there's the track and field data.
Yeah, in track and field, personalized sprint mechanics optimized by AI have led to an 8% decrease in 100-meter sprint times.
An 8% drop in a 100-meter sprint is earth-shattering.
It is. But how is a piece of software actually making a runner faster? It's not like the algorithm is out there moving their legs for them.
No, but it comes down to processing variables at a speed and scale that the human eye simply cannot achieve.
Right.
A track coach can watch a sprinter and see that their form looks generally good, but an AI system analyzing high-speed camera feeds and sensor data
is looking at the exact millisecond of ground contact time.
Exactly. It's calculating the microscopic asymmetry in force between the left foot strike and the right foot strike.
Wow.
It identifies that when the athlete reaches, say, 80% of their maximum velocity, their left hip drops by 2 degrees.
2 degrees, you can't see that.
A human can't. But the AI sees that this drop creates aerodynamic drag and leaks kinetic energy. Then it recalibrates the athlete's entire wrinkly training load to strengthen the specific micromuscles causing that hip drop.
It makes me think of the evolution from traditional medicine to modern advanced preventative care.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Because traditional coaching is a lot like a doctor who only treats your symptoms after you're already sick. You pull a muscle, you get iced, you run a slow time, you run more drills.
Right.
But this new AI coaching model is like advanced genetic screening. It spots the invisible precursors to the problem.
That tiny 2-degree hip drop.
Exactly. It spots it and adjusts your environment so the disease, or in this case, the injury or the slump, never actually takes hold.
What's fascinating here is that the most successful coaches aren't fighting this technology. They aren't threatened by it.
They're embracing it.
They are. They're adapting to it. They are utilizing AI the way chess grandmasters use advanced algorithms. It serves as a force multiplier for their strategy, not a replacement for human intuition.
Right, because if an AI flags that a striker's acceleration pattern is showing a slight invisible deviation,
One that historically precedes a severe hamstring pull.
then the coach just alters the training load on a Tuesday and completely avoids the tear that would have happened on a Saturday.
And the market reflects this reality perfectly. I mean, wearable technology companies like WWOP recently raised $200 million at a $3.6 billion valuation.
That's insane.
It is. And injury prediction platforms like Zone 7 are quietly being embedded in over 50 professional clubs worldwide.
And they're feeding decades of game footage and complex biometric data into these machine learning models to find hidden trends. Stuff like sleep architecture, heart rate variability, acute to chronic load ratios.
All of it.
So if the AI is this massive predictive brain sitting in a server room somewhere, the wearables and the sensors have to be the nervous system.
That's the perfect way to look at it.
Because it's not just about looking at a spreadsheet the day after a game anymore. This data is being gathered and fed back to the athlete in real time.
Right. On the field, in the moment.
But to understand what that actually means,
Mm.
we have to define what the sensors are actually looking at, which brings us to kinematics and kinetics.
Yes. Those two terms are the absolute foundation of modern sports biomechanics.
So kinematics is the geometry of motion,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It is purely visual. The exact angles of your joints, the trajectory of your arm, the speed of your rotation.
Okay, and then kinetics.
Kinetics involves the invisible forces that actually cause that motion. It's the power you are putting into the ground, the torque on a bicycle pedal, the sheer physical force of a baseball swing.
One of our sources breaks down the N+1 AI cycling coach, and it illustrates how these two concepts merge so beautifully.
The cycling example is great.
Yeah, the report points out how AI dramatically improves the signal-to-noise ratio in a training program. Because, let's face it, human athletes generate a massive amount of noise.
Oh, yeah. We sleep poorly. We get stressed about our taxes.
We overtrain because we feel highly motivated one afternoon and just go too hard.
Right, biological noise.
But the AI cuts through that by actively measuring those kinetic forces on the pedals and the kinematic angles of the rider's knees in real time.
It dynamically adjusts the daily workload to optimize recovery and prevent wasted junk training hours.
The critical challenge, though, is the sensory feedback loop. I mean, you have to communicate those complex adjustments back to the athlete while they are in motion, sweating, breathing heavily.
And that is incredibly hard to do without distracting them.
Which is where the Apple WWDC developer guidelines on core haptics become so crucial to our understanding of this space.
Yeah, we aren't just talking about a smartwatch buzzing randomly to tell you to stand up.
No, we are talking about synchronized audio and haptic feedback designed with extreme programmatic precision.
The Apple source highlights 3 very specific design principles for this feedback: causality, harmony, and utility.
Okay, so causality means the physical sensation on your skin clearly matches the digital cause.
Right, and harmony ensures the sound, the visual, and the physical feel all hit your senses at the exact same millisecond.
So your brain just accepts it as real.
Exactly. And utility means it only happens when it provides clear, actionable value.
The developers gave this amazing example of simulating physical contact in a digital space, like pulling back a virtual slingshot.
I love this example.
It's so cool. As you pull your hand back, the haptic tension actually builds and tightens against your wrist, and when you let go, there's a synchronized physical snap.
In a sports context, you can imagine a tennis player getting haptic feedback on their wrist that perfectly mirrors the velocity and center impact of their swing in real time.
Instantly telling their nervous system if they hit the sweet spot without them even needing to look at where the ball went.
It's literally rewiring muscle memory.
But wait, I have to push back here.
Okay, go for it.
If I'm flying down a mountain on a road bike at 40 miles per hour, navigating hairpin turns and watching out for gravel, I do not care how harmonious or perfectly synchronized the haptic feedback is.
Fair point.
A buzzing watch or an audio cue in my ear telling me my kinetic torque is off by 3% is just going to distract me.
You think it'll pull you out of it?
Yeah. How on earth do you stay in the zone and tap into a flow state when your wearable tech is constantly critiquing you?
Yeah.
Isn't this just a recipe for massive cognitive overload?
That is the exact problem early iterations of sports tech ran into. Athletes were paralyzed by analysis.
Yeah, just turn it off.
But the reality of a modern, well-designed AI ecosystem is that it actually does the opposite. It acts as a cognitive shield.
A shield.
Yeah, it processes massive amounts of heterogeneous data entirely in the background. Sweat composition, tire pressure, heart rate, altitude.
Okay.
The core principle of utility means the technology remains completely silent until a highly specific critical threshold is crossed.
Okay, filtering the noise sounds great in theory. But in the chaos of a real race, how does a system actually decide what is a critical threshold and what is just noise?
Without completely overwhelming the human coach who has to make the final call.
Exactly. Our sources actually provide a blueprint for this exact scenario. To see how all these disparate sensors, predictive models, and feedback loops perfectly synthesize in a life-or-death athletic environment, we have to look at the cutting-edge work of Dr. Peter Maharaj,
Yes.
his strategic implementation framework for the U.S. cycling program and momentum coaching.
This is where theory becomes practice at the highest possible level. Dr. Maharaj has developed a suite of advanced applications aimed at revolutionizing real-time feedback for U.S. cycling.
Pushing the boundaries of what we understand about heart rate variability and real-time kinesiologic analysis.
And the tech stack he is using is not your average consumer software.
No, it is heavy duty. He is integrating the Apple Foundation framework, which handles all that beautiful on-device sensor and haptic data we just discussed,
Right.
with massive enterprise large language models.
Hmm.
Specifically, the framework utilizes Azure OpenAI's GPT 5.2
Yeah.
and Claude Enterprise 4.5.
And it's vital to explain why they need this level of firepower.
Please do.
They are dealing with high-density, incredibly personal kinesiology data. We are talking about minute details of an athlete's cardiac rhythms and deep sleep architecture.
Very sensitive stuff.
Highly sensitive. Because of this, the entire system is built to be strictly HIPAA-R and SOC2 compliant.
Basically, they are treating a cyclist's sweat and heart rate with the same bank-level and hospital-level cybersecurity protocols you would expect for your most sensitive medical records.
Exactly. But the true genius of Dr. Maharaj's system is its architecture. He recognized the cognitive overload problem you brought up earlier.
Okay, how did he solve it?
Well, asking one single massive AI to quote-unquote coach the cyclist creates bottlenecks and hallucinations. Instead, he compartmentalized the system.
Divided it up.
Yes, he divided the AI into a multi-agent framework featuring 4 distinct, highly specialized agents that communicate with each other in real time.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Think of Dr. Maharaj's multi-agent system like a Formula One pit crew.
Oh, I like that.
If you have one single human coach running around a car trying to frantically change all 4 tires, calculate the remaining fuel, check the engine telemetry, and adjust the aerodynamics all at the exact same time, mistakes happen.
The driver gets conflicting information.
Exactly. But in this AI ecosystem, the athlete has 4 specialized AI agents instantly executing their specific roles, allowing the athlete to just focus on driving.
Let's break down those 4 roles because the way they interact is brilliant. First, you have the physiological agent.
Okay.
Its sole jurisdiction is the internal engine of the athlete. It monitors heart rate variability, and sleep data to constantly calculate a real-time readiness score.
Got it. Second is the biomechanical agent. This agent is looking externally, right?
Yes, it is analyzing those joint angles, kinematic symmetry, and pedal stroke efficiency to refine technique and prevent overuse injuries.
Okay, third is the tactical agent. This is the race strategist. It runs complex event simulations in the background, mapping out pacing strategies based on the exact topography of the race course.
And the athlete's real-time fatigue level.
Right. And finally, you have the administrative agent.
The unsung hero.
Truly, which handles the invisible paperwork, the documentation, the scheduling, logging the data, and ensuring all that HIPAA-compliant security is maintained.
Now, let's play with your F1 analogy to see how this solves the cognitive overload problem during a race.
Let's do it.
Imagine the cyclist is midway up a grueling mountain climb. The physiological agent sees the athlete's core temperature and heart rate spiking dangerously and wants to tell the athlete to pull back and slow down.
Makes sense.
But simultaneously, the tactical agent realizes that the cyclist's main rival is struggling even more, and there is a massive tailwind approaching in 400 meters.
Oh, wow. So instead of buzzing the athlete's wrist with conflicting alerts like slow down, but also attack now,
Exactly. The agents resolve the conflict in the background.
the tactical agent overrides the physiological agent for a calculated 2-minute window, determining that the strategic payoff is worth the temporary physical debt.
And the AI distills all that complex debate into one simple, actionable piece of advice delivered to the coach's tablet. Green light for a 60-second sprint.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this highlights the focus mandate of Dr. Maharaj's initiative. The design philosophy driving U.S. cycling and momentum coaching is incredibly positive.
It really is.
This entire AI ecosystem is built to act as a reliable, silent ally in high-stakes environments. By outsourcing the heavy data lifting, the complex real-time math, and the administrative burden to the multi-agent AI, it ensures athletes can safely push the absolute boundaries of their physical potential.
But crucially, the ultimate value gained here is for the coaches.
Yes.
It gives them their time back.
Time back to actually be human beings. When a coach isn't buried in spreadsheets trying to calculate an acute to chronic load ratio, they have the bandwidth to look an athlete in the eye.
To read their body language.
Yeah, to understand their mental state and to provide that profound human mentorship that a machine simply cannot replicate.
AI is not replacing human judgment in elite sports. It is a precise, secure, data-driven assistant that takes raw, overwhelming metrics and turns them into a smarter, safer path to victory.
Empowering the coach to be more present and effective than ever before.
Absolutely.
But the value gained from AI integration doesn't stop at the physical limits of the body, and it doesn't end at the finish line of the racetrack.
No, it extends deep into how athletes operate off the field.
Right, as businesses and media entities. Our sources outline a massive shift in the sports business ecosystem driven by a concept called disintermediation.
Disintermediation is an economic term that essentially means cutting out the middleman.
Right. Historically, if an athlete wanted to reach their fans, they had to go through traditional gatekeepers. A sports federation, a massive club, or a global television network controlled the athlete's image.
They distributed the highlights and ultimately controlled the commercial value.
But today, athletes are utilizing digital platforms and AI tools to bypass those gatekeepers entirely, building massive autonomous brands directly with their global fan bases.
And generative AI is dropping the barrier to entry for content creation to near zero.
We looked at a fascinating case study in our sources involving WSC Sports and the German soccer league, the Bundesliga.
This was wild to read.
They are using AWS cloud computing to completely automate the video editing process. The AI physically scans the live video feed of the game. It uses computer vision to recognize specific player faces and jersey numbers.
And it measures audio spikes in the crowd noise to instantly identify when a major play or a goal happens.
By doing this, it generates thousands of highly personalized, fully edited highlight clips within 5 minutes of a match ending.
5 minutes? That's incredible.
This single AI application is saving them 70% in video editing costs.
Now, scale that down to the individual. Imagine a single elite athlete having that level of production power.
It's like having an entire studio in your pocket.
Exactly. They have an AI agent that instantly edits their best plays, uses natural language processing to translate the captions into 6 different languages, and distributes that personalized content to fan bases in Tokyo, London, and New York.
All while the athlete is still sitting in the locker room taking their cleats off.
It transforms the athlete into a global media company of one.
But with that immense power comes a vulnerability. To secure this new digital empire, athletes are beginning to utilize blockchain and NFTs. And I know those sound like exhausted tech buzzwords, but the underlying utility here is vital.
It really is.
Think of the blockchain like an indelible, unhackable digital watermark.
That's the perfect way to visualize it. When an athlete's authorized AI generates a piece of content, it stamps it onto the blockchain, it mathematically proves the origin of that video.
This allows athletes to authenticate their official content, verify their intellectual property, and secure their own data sovereignty away from centralized social media platforms.
Which is so important right now.
It is. But this leads me to a really profound question about the future of an athlete's brand.
Okay.
If AI can generate your automated video highlights, if it can use natural language processing to tailor highly personalized text messages to specific fan subgroups, and if it can even create synthetic deepfake avatars to run your promotional campaigns,
I see where you're going with this.
where's the line between the athlete's authentic human self and their algorithmic ghost? How does a fan know who they are actually cheering for?
This raises an important question, and it represents the central business and brand trust challenge the sports industry is wrestling with right now.
Algorithmic deception.
Yes.
Yep.
Where fans engage with synthetic content thinking it's the real athlete, it can destroy brand trust overnight.
Right. If a deepfake of a famous cyclist pops up trying to sell fans a scam energy drink, The fans can look for that cryptographic blockchain stamp to see it's fake.
But beyond just security, the broader academic consensus in our sources suggests that long-term commercial advantage will belong to athletes who practice what is called augmented authenticity.
Augmented authenticity. That means using AI to enhance the reach and the volume of your voice, but never using it to replace the human soul of the storytelling itself.
Precisely. You use the AI to do the tedious work, the video editing, the language translation, the data sorting, and the distribution logistics.
But the vulnerability, the passion of the win, the heartbreak of the loss.
And the core message. It must remain undeniably authentically human. Fans connect with human struggle, not algorithmic perfection.
So what does this all mean? We have journeyed from the microbiomechanics of a single cycling pedal stroke, analyzing 2-degree hip drops, all the way to global media empires run by autonomous AI agents.
It's been quite the deep dive.
It really has. But the incredibly positive message found across every single one of our sources today, from the academic medical reviews reducing hamstring injuries to Dr. Peter Maharaj's U.S. cycling framework giving coaches their time back.
Is that the absolute best outcomes happen through partnership?
Yes, it is the raw computational power of AI and the nuanced empathy of humanity combining.
As the WSC Sports article beautifully summarized it, the ultimate goal of all this technology is to keep the coach in the driver's seat and the AI as the navigation system.
The GPS can calculate the absolute fastest route. It can process millions of data points to warn you about traffic hidden miles ahead, and it can track your mileage with flawless precision.
But it doesn't know why you are driving to that destination, and it certainly cannot feel the thrill of the open road.
That experience, that judgment, and that purpose belongs entirely to the athlete and the coach.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly where the power lies. We hope this deep dive gave you a completely new lens through which to view the sports you love.
And maybe it even gave you a glimpse into how these very same tools might one day help you optimize your own daily health, recovery, and performance.
Starting right now with the smartwatch on your wrist. If you enjoyed this exploration and want to stay well-informed, please remember to like and subscribe to the show for more deep dives into the technologies shaping our world.
Your support is what allows us to keep unpacking these massive topics week after week.
Before we go, do you have a final thought for us?
I do. I want to leave you with one final thought. We are currently watching millions of dollars being poured into these elite, multi-agent AI coaching ecosystems.
Yeah.
If, and very likely when, these powerful systems scale down and become as cheap and accessible as a simple smartphone app, what happens next?
That's a huge question.
Will it beautifully democratize elite coaching, giving every kid playing soccer on a bumpy public park field access to world-class injury prevention and tactical advice? Or will it relentlessly over-quantify youth sports, turning children into data points to be optimized, and eliminating the simple, unmeasured, joyful chaos of amateur play?
Wow.
It's something for you to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, keep looking for the invisible forces shaping the game. Take care, everyone.